Hello everybody! If you have a puppy in your family, there is no way to get to the dog trainer and you don't know what to do with him, this video is just for you. Firstly, let's discuss what to do with the dog if it's in quarantine. Since you do not have the opportunity to go for a walk, the dog is forced to spend energy at your home. Therefore, be prepared that he will destroy everything, will bite your legs and arms, and destroy your home. But don't worry, it won't last forever. Very quickly, the puppy will grow up and become a clever adult dog. The most important thing to understand is that you need to direct this energy in a peaceful direction. Be sure to play with your puppy. Make sure that the toy is safe and it will be very pleasant for the dog to bite it, fight with it, take it from you, and win in your interesting games. Instead of just giving out food from a bowl, it is better to feed only from your hands and practice various exercises. A little later, I will show you exactly which exercises you need to practice. The toilet is a normal classic story. Any puppy will go to the toilet first at home, so you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to think that you can change something. Everyone has gone through this period. The situation with the toilet is resolved in about 6 to 7 months, in different dogs in different ways. The only thing you can do is to accustom your puppy to diapers, and if the quarantine is over, go outside more often. With diapers, the situation is very simple. If you find a place where a puppy made a puddle, you soak the diaper, wipe the place with chlorine or something disinfectant, and put a diaper with the smell of your puppy on that place. At first, there may be many such diapers, but over time, you will notice that your puppy chooses one specific place, and gradually you will remove all the other diapers. It is very important to remove all dangerous things or things that are valuable to you, because the puppy will naturally try everything, will try to play with everything. So all electrical devices, all carriers, cables, electrical equipment, remote controls, shoes, whereas useful and decorative things, it is better to raise them to a level where the dog cannot reach them. How to prohibit something? We highly recommend trying it first without any restrictions. You can forbid something to a dog at any age, but first it is very important to learn to negotiate with the puppy and understand what needs the puppy has and how to realize them. If the puppy gnaws on something, you need to show him things that are necessary and even useful to gnaw on. If the puppy bites your hands, it means that it's the time to play and he is trying to get your attention. Please, forget the words how to unlearn. Constantly think about how to teach. That is, you don't have to unteach the puppy to bite your hands, but you have to teach the puppy to play with toys. You don't have to unteach the puppy to bite furniture, but you have to teach the puppy to bite Kong and other similar toys. Be sure to accustom the dog to its place. It can be a cage, it can be a playpen, it can be a separate room, but it is very convenient and very important when an adult dog understands that he has a separate place and sometimes he can be sent there to be alone. It is especially convenient when we are traveling and need to stay somewhere in a hotel, for example. If you don't do this, some dogs get so used to being closely with a person that when you go to work, the dog becomes stressed, it can howl, it can behave destructively and destroy your home. Likewise, it can go to the toilet where it shouldn't, and it's not because it wants to take revenge on you, but because the dog is stressed. While you're in a quarantine, you have a lot of time to work with your puppy. You can already start to adopt and socialize it. You can train your dog to listen to different sounds, for example, by turning on the TV. On the TV, you can find the sounds of a siren, you can find the sounds of the road, you can find the sounds of the fireworks, gunshots, various animals. The dog will gradually get used to these sounds and adapt to them. In the same way, you can teach the dog to react correctly to different surfaces. For example, walk the dog on a plastic bag or on a wet cloth. Something so unusual that the dog gets used to different new sensations. It is very important to start working with ammunition during quarantine, because if you don't do this, when you take the dog out for the first time, it will be very stressful for him. Everything will distract him, everything will scare him or interest him, and if something new is added, for example, getting used to ammunition, it will be too much. Therefore, it is very good when in quarantine you have already passed this stage and the dog already knows what a collar and a leash are and treats them very positively. There is a myth that training a dog should begin at 6 months old, but this is not true at all. You can start from the very first days. The main rule is not to bother your puppy too much, so that he does not turn away from you and does not lose interest in some training and some exercises. And if you use various exercises correctly, you can already go outside with a dog that knows how to wait at the elementary level, that can come to you and walk next to you. The main rule in communicating with the puppy is to be nice to him, to make the puppy fall in love with you, because most people want to raise a puppy correctly. They are afraid to spoil the dog, and therefore they constantly forbid everything. Is the dog doing something? No, it is necessary to forbid him from doing it immediately. Picking something up, it is necessary to punish immediately, and so on. And when we work in this direction, after a while, the dog just starts avoiding us. It's not fun with us, it's not interesting with us. We forbid everything, and therefore the dog will rather run somewhere alone or look for friends among other dogs. In the very beginning, it is very important to be cheerful, it is important to be positive, and that your puppy loves you very much. This is the main rule. It is very cool to understand and imagine what your dog should be able to do when he is an adult, how you want him to behave in one or another situation. For example, he should protect you from outsiders, or On the contrary, be a companion and friend to everyone he meets. This will fundamentally change the training system. Well, now let's move into the practice. Now I will show you what exercises you can do with your puppy at home or on the street as soon as you have him. Learn to play with your puppy. It is very important that toys are interesting, pleasant to the touch, and safe. I highly recommend using 2 toys at once to teach the puppy to switch from one to another. Based on the logic of some specialists, the fact that the toy looks like an animal means that the dog will kill animals when it grows up. But believe me, I have raised hundreds and hundreds of puppies, and not one has yet grown into an inappropriately aggressive dog. All grew up obedient and sweet companions. The toy always runs away from the puppy. You never need to poke her in the face or come up with something else. She constantly runs away, and the puppy has to catch up with it and take it away from you. And then switching again, so on in a circle. It is also very important to teach how to exchange a toy for food. Exercise number 2 is very simple. We just feed the dog, piece by piece, piece by piece. We simply feed the dog from our hands, so that it's very interesting, fun, and tasty. In the next exercise, we accustom the puppy to its name. We call the dog by name, and when our eyes meet, we say the marker yes and give out food. The next exercise is to learn catch up with the hand. The rules of this game: the dog must stick its nose to your hand and you just lead it in a straight line. In the next exercise, we teach the dog to turn around. That is, when we move back, the dog walks towards us, and then we start walking forward. The dog turns around and walks forward with us, and then in circle. Again, we step back, the dog turns and follows us, and then we go forward. The dog turns and follows us again. We teach the dog to spin first in one direction, then in the other. Very easy and fun exercise, and many puppies really like it. Exercise for starting come command. We move away from the dog, bring it to us and fix it as close as possible. In this way, the dog learns to take the correct position on the command come. Endurance exercise. First, we feed the dog, gradually increasing the pauses between giving food. And gradually, we try to break the distance. At first, one leg remains and the other retreats. And then you can take a full step, and then 2, and 3, and so on ad infinitum. We learn positions next to me and come, and to change these positions. The position next to me is near the leg. The position come is frontal, as close as possible to you. When practicing this exercise, so that it's a little easier for the dog to understand and adjust to you, I recommend doing the following. When you take a position next to me, take a step forward, and when you make a position come, take a step back, so it will be much easier for the dog to adjust and take the correct position. We practice the chain between lay and stand. Make sure the dog's paws stay in one place. The chain lay and sit. Here, the rear paws remain stationary and the front paws constantly change positions. The chain sit and stand. Pay attention to the front paws of the dog, so that they do not go forward when changing positions. Well, one should not forget about working with ammunition. The correct attitude to the leash and collar is very important.